President and the Commander-in-Chief of the EFF, Commissars and Fighters, Deputy Speaker, President, I stand here on behalf of the EFF for the very first time to respond to your stale, empty, and meaningless State of the Nation address. Today, 25 years after the attainment of political freedom, the face of poverty, of landlessness, unemployment, homelessness, of poor health, of abuse, is still largely black. It is young and is most likely women. In your address, you only mentioned this identity once. You, Mr. President, have sold your soul to the captains of the industry, who are wholly white and are men. In return, you have made it your mission to sell dreams to the people on whose ticket you now occupy your office. While you are dreaming, sir, black youth are unemployed or languishing in jail because of your failure to secure their future. Black grandmothers are raped daily with under 2% chances of ever finding justice. And black people in general are still landless. They do not have the luxury to dream as your white-gotten wealth allows you to. I'm infuriated by your tone-deaf attitude to thousands of lesbian women subjected to corrective rapes and facing their tormentors in the streets because our criminal justice system cannot protect those who sex differently. Your government, Mr. President, is responsible for many and the most heinous of crimes. You jailed Kanya Kageshe, you jailed Boinkosi Kanyile, and are complicit for the brutal murders of Benjamin Petla, of Bongani Madonsela, just because they asked for a free education that you promised them when they were still toddlers in 1994. You have over 1 million students across all universities, but you can only accommodate just under 130,000 students. Where must the rest stay?
Hold on.
Without any intention to build universities.
Honorable Chirwa, when you are spoken to, you stop speaking. Yes, Honorable Member. What are you raising on?
Deputy,
press the button there.
Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
The Speaker on the podium said the President is complicit in murder.
Yeah.
I think that is unparliamentary.
Yeah, it's sustained. It's correct. Honorable Member, withdraw that statement. Honorable Member, withdraw the statement. You listen to the presiding officer.
On a point of order, Deputy Speaker.
What's your point of order?
She never said that. She said
Honorable
that
Member?
your government is complicit in murder.
No.
There's a court ruling about affirming that saying here in the joint city.
Honorable Shivambo?
Because when it was said by the Commander-in-Chief that the ANC government killed...
Honorable Shivambo?
That was affirmed by court that is permissible speech.
Honorable Shivambo?
But also it's out of tradition.
No. Honorable Shivambo?
Maiden.
You are wrong.
That chairperson...
Honorable Member?
It's out of order. We must allow
Honorable Shivambo.
Honorable Naledi to complete the address now.
Honorable Shivambo, you are wrong. Honorable Chirwa, withdraw that statement.
On a point of order. On a point of order, Deputy.
What's your point of order?
Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
Deputy Speaker. We hope...
What's your point of order, sir? You keep quiet, honorable members. You keep quiet.
Chief Whip, you
allow your member to speak.
What he did.
Honorable member, go ahead.
Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
On two bases, we call a point of order. One, a maiden speech cannot be interrupted, and that you have allowed. And secondly, Deputy Speaker, where there is no certainty and there is a dispute about remarks and utterances in this House, in the best interest of this House to flow and the debate, refer it to Hansard and allow the poor speaker to continue. Don't be disruptive as you were in the past.
Honorable Deputy Speaker,
and now you are starting
on a point of order. Honorable Deputy Speaker,
can we be saved from you?
On a point of order.
Honorable, no, can I make a ruling here, please? Honorable Chirwa, withdraw that statement because it is out of order. And I plead with you to do so. Please, withdraw the statement.
On a point of order, Deputy Speaker.
No, I have ruled on this. There's three of you.
You must ask her if she said it or not. You cannot say she must withdraw. She has not confirmed to have said that.
Honorable member.
Did not confirm that. You must ask her.
Honorable member.
Stop being emotional, man.
No. Honorable member, I have sustained the ruling I have heard the member and I'm asking her to withdraw.
I mean, it is not a lie that
No, honorable member, honorable member, you don't do that. Honorable member, honorable member.
It is not a lie.
I'm going to switch off this mic. You are going to have to get off the podium if you are not prepared to withdraw. You withdraw.
Let's do this.
Hold on.
Withdraw. We'll deal with this one later.
Honorable member, Honorable
Withdraw
Shivambo.
for now. We'll deal with it.
Honorable Shivambo, you are not a presiding officer. Take your seat, honorable member.
I
Withdraw the
withdraw,
statement.
Deputy Speaker.
Thank you.
Without any intention to build new universities or expand the capacity of the current universities and TVETs, where do you want all these learners in South Africa to go? I will also take this time to remind you and your colleagues, Mr. President, of Thandi. Thandi is the black girl born in 1992 that Trevor Manuel used to illustrate her positionality when he presented the IMF-imposed neoliberal NDP during his time as Minister of Planning in 2011. The NDP has failed to locate Thandi. Today, Thandi is excluded.
Honorable member, what are you raising, honorable member?
Thank you very much. A point of order, the conduct of members who come to parliament in terms of the gallery. The former member who's sitting up there, who's taking pictures, who is not supposed to be in the house.
Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Honorable members in the gallery, you are welcome, but please don't break the rules.
Deputy Speaker.
Go ahead, honorable member.
Deputy Speaker.
Allow your speaker to proceed.
On a point of order, don't allow these people who are suffering from jealousy to disrupt this young, brilliant black woman
Honorable
from delivering a speech. This is a maiden speech.
You are disrupting her
This is
yourself.
a maiden speech, Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
Can you please give her a chance?
And you are, no, honorable member.
You're jealous, man.
Take your seat.
She's outshining you.
You are out of order. You are out of order. Honorable members, allow the member to speak.
On a point of order, Speaker.
What's your point of order, honorable member?
We're asking you to protect her. It's a maiden speech.
Honorable member.
Please protect her, and you are not doing that.
Honorable member, you raise point of orders in the middle of her presentation yourselves.
No.
Just like all other members are raising points of order.
No.
The rules require that we must listen to anybody in the house who raises a point of order. She's no different. A point of order is raised in the house, it must be listened to. We can't assume that it can't be said. Please take yourself, allow her to proceed.
Deputy Speaker, a point of order is called of people who are doing something in the gallery. You have not seen them yourself. You call them to order.
Honorable
you have
member.
not seen what she's talking about. Instead of telling her to sit down so that you protect the speaker, you'll sustain her.
I'll invite you in future, Honorable Malem, I'll invite you in future to help me make orders in the house. Not today. Honorable member, proceed.
Today, Thandi is excluded from Rhodes University for protesting against rape culture. Thandi is financially excluded from completing a qualification because your NSFAS did not pay for her last year of study. Thandi was turned back from a clinic because of shortage of contraceptives. Thandi then fell pregnant and was again turned back from hospital because the waiting list for abortion services can stretch out to over 5 months. Thandi is now the 1 in 4 women who will live in absolute poverty for the rest of her life for having kept a baby she did not want and couldn't prevent carrying because of your government, Mr. President. Thandi is one of the 1,200 young women who got infected with HIV today, despite numerous global efforts available to prevent this from happening and your failure to have it accessible for Thandi in Taung. Thandi was protesting outside Parliament demanding health rights for her fellow domestic workers a few days before your address, Mr. President. Thandi is on Nyaupe, and she will commit suicide before the new dawn because of depression. Thandi is also landless. Thandi is a rape victim living with her rapist in the same house because your police officers lost the docket. Thandi is unemployed and will remain unemployed for the next decade because you, Mr. President, cannot cater for her needs in your job creation plan that rules out 80% of unemployed young people for the next decade. All these social ills and failures of your government reproduce the kind of violence our country is associated with today, and you have not the slightest idea of how to resolve this. Let us therefore tell you what you should consider once again. The state must ensure 50% women representation in all spheres, representing economic benefit, political participation, managerial and leadership responsibility. The state must introduce compulsory gender education and training for all, from school level up to the highest level of all public services. The state must introduce compulsory education of police on gender justice and establish specialized law enforcement units to deal with women-related crimes. The time for meaningless frameworks and commissions on the gender question has long expired, Mr. President. Introduce a special inspectorate in the Department of Labor to monitor, report, and enforce gender parity and equality in the workplace. Don't just talk decriminalization of sex work if you do not mean it. Stop unfair discrimination against LGBTQI individuals when they want to adopt children in need. Decommodify basic needs such as education and health so that they are driven by need and not maximization of profit. Your focus on health should be on primary health with commitment to attainment of universal healthcare coverage, quality clinics with strong immunization and vaccination programs, prevention, promotion, and education-oriented primary health care. Protect and promote informal traders and allow them to trade in the streets of Braamfontein, Sandton, Hatfield in Pretoria, Sea Point in Cape Town, and taxi ranks where women vendors get threatened with rape every day. And lastly, Mr. President, lastly, if you are unable to do all of these things, move over and allow Thandi and other fellow young people to wake up South Africa from this nightmare you have collectively subjected us for the past 25 years.
Honorable Zungula.
That is what you wanted to